What is going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Goes are back with another superstar from the world of mixed martial arts. Today we get to talk to UFC middleweight Chris Curtis, the action man. He's got a big fight coming up at UFC 289. We're about 2 weeks away, maybe 3, somewhere around there, before they head up to Vancouver. It's a pay-per-view, and his opponent that night will be Nassourdine Imavov. How's it going, Chris?
I'm good, man. I'm freaking good. Exhausted as all hell, but I'm pretty good, man. Just we're in that final 2 week that stretch, so it's the countdown. It's almost man dance time, so I just can't wait for it the day to finally get here.
I know this can be a hot topic with you, so you can address it as you want, or just let me say something nice on behalf of you. I'm not too happy about you guys not being on the main card. And so I looked at it, right? To be fair, what's going on here? We got the title fight. We got the eliminator fight between Dariush and Oliveira. All right. I hear
Makes
that.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
And then I look at the rest of the card and I'm seeing, Anders and Barrio. Could it be that one and Adam Fuget against Mallet has a Canadian on there? I mean, if that's the reason, geez, I don't know, man. If it's warranted,
I can only assume it's because of the Canadians. I can only assume. I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. Like, I didn't even get mad about it. I'm just like, I saw it and I was like, I thought it was gonna be a main card fight when we signed for it. I was like, cool, perfect, all right. And now we're like opening the prelims. I'm just like, all right, man, whatever. Like, it's my check's still the same regardless. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. It's the hand I've been dealt. So it's whatever. You can be mad about it, or you can just go fight, get paid, and move on.
So now let me ask you something. This resurgence of a career you had has been amazing, and you've done great stuff for yourself, your son, your soon-to-be family, everything that you have going on. And I wanted to ask you. You did hang up the gloves one time, but obviously you changed your mind. How much did this change your life that you can share with the audience? Because it's, like I say, it's really been incredible. You being a ranked fighter, all the KOs, all the bonuses, and
well, I don't live in a shitty house anymore. I got like a pretty, like really, just moved. Nice. Got a really, really nice place. Like my family's doing well. I got a kid on the way. So I have a 15-year-old son, and when he was born, I had nothing, man. I was making nothing. Excuse me, we gotta practice. I was making nothing, and I had nothing, and like it was so scary to like raise a kid, not knowing like how I was gonna pay for this, like if I was doing the right thing, if I was making the right choices, and like continuing the fight. And I mean, thank God he was raised well. He's a happy kid. He's well adjusted. And thankful for that. But that was a terrifying point in my life, man. Because I was just like, I'm making $300, $500 every couple months to fight. And now where I am, like, I've got a kid in the way, and I'm not scared at all. I'm like excited. I'm like, dude, it's my second boy. I mean, I'm so excited. That's completely different because, like, I raised a kid. My first son was never having more than, I think the most I ever had in the bank at one time was $1,000. Now, I've got well into 6 figures into bank accounts, and like with more on the way. And, even doing better. I don't live beyond my means at all. I'm a pretty simple guy, but being here has completely changed my life, man. It's night and day. Not having to worry about if you can pay your bills, or like not having to check your bank statement every day to make sure you're not overdrafting is an amazing feeling. To have fought 13 years, 14 years without that security, and then to wake up now knowing, I get to wake up, go train, go do things, and that like I'm taken care of, my family's fine, all that. It's getting signed, man. Like when I first started fighting, my entire dream, the goal was to get there, man. I wanted to get there. I wanted to be one of those guys and whatever. And now I'm there. I'm one of those guys. I've done well. And like my life is completely different, man. Like I can't even begin to tell you. It's completely different. That's one of those things to where I'm slowly learning to even to take all the bad with the good. because even when things are bad, fighting's up and down sport, guys. Any athletic endeavor is going to be up and down. You're going to have wins and losses, and I always take my losses really hard. But I got to remember, like, dude, I was getting wins and losses for $300, $500. Now, I'm getting wins and losses for like substantial amounts of money. So I'm gradually learning to appreciate what I have, and it's different, man. It's definitely different. I wish I could just fully explain to you like how much my life has changed, man. So I definitely owe the UFC, McMahon especially, man, like a huge, huge thank you, man. I got my shot and I ran with it. And Mick's been probably the greatest thing ever, man. He's such a cool dude. He's given me a lot of opportunities, taking care of me. So yeah, man, I love my job, love my boss.
Chris, are you almost appreciative of the falls along the way? Did that make the journey even better, or could you have done?
Fuck no, fuck those falls. God, if I could have got here without those falls, hell yeah, I'm not gonna hold those falls at all. Those falls sucked. The only positive from the falls, where I guess it taught me like, hey man, it can always be a lot worse than it is currently. But yeah, if I could get here without the falls, yeah, man, fuck that. I'll never be one of those people who's like, it made the journey sweeter. Like, fuck that. I would have loved to have been here like 10 years ago and had 10 years to, build up and acquire more money than I have now. But everybody's path is different. So, yeah, fuck those falls. But, they were part of the journey. So you just got to roll with it. And luckily, I'm happy where I am now.
I don't want to call the last fight a fall. I feel like that was a misstep, let's call it. Something like what happened. Is that something that goes away once this next fight starts, or is that something that kind of just will piss you off for the rest of your life?
I'll always be mad about it. I always say, and I refuse to call it a loss. It's weird for me because honest to God, I beat Kelvin Gastelum. Of everybody in that building that night, Kelvin Gastelum's the one guy I beat. Definitely didn't beat the ref, didn't beat the judges on that one, but I beat Kelvin. He knows I beat Kelvin. But I lost to everybody else in that building that night, unfortunately. But it just sucks because I know what happened. He knows what happened. And I just feel like I'd be a really good feather in my cap, especially because everybody's like, oh, it was the best he's back in his best form. I'm like, yeah, but I beat that guy. I was good to beat that guy. They're like, that's the Kelvin that fought Izzy. And I'm like, cool, that's great. He was that Kelvin, but I was better than him that night. But I'll never get that feather in my cap. So that one kind of stings. But, I can't change history. Luckily for me, though, the UFC is not treating it like a loss. Like, they kind of roll through it, and they haven't really treated it like a loss. It hasn't set me back. Like, they didn't act like it is what it is. So they kind of gave me a really good fight going forward, and I'll take it, man. Hopefully I'll find Kelvin again. Going to 170 means nothing to me. I can still make 70. Would suck, but I'll still make it. So. You can't change weight classes to escape this ass whooping, so I'll find it eventually.
This fight coming up here, the one good thing about Extreme Couture in this division is you guys have a lot of heads. And within doing that, you have a lot of guys that have faced other people, right? And This is one of those fights where you can maybe lean on a few guys for advice. Does that work out in any way, or do fighters just change so quickly? Or does it just come down to, hey, you're you and I'm me, and it doesn't matter?
It's a little bit of all of it, man. We've had, two guys fight Nassourdine. Edmund fought him, and Sean fought him. I cornered Sean for the last fight with him. So we've had people beat Nassourdine in camp and whatnot. So guys are always getting better. Guys are always evolving. But it's nice to know, you're not going to have a guy go from being, a counterpuncher to a killer in a fight. It doesn't work that way. Unless you're Chase Hooper, who apparently, I don't know what happened to Chase Hooper, but his last fight, he came out as a murderer. So that was cool. Good job, Chase Hooper. But normally that doesn't happen. So it's good to know, we got guys that fought him, and this is how he felt. This is what happened. You have to expect he's going to be better than the last time he fought. But people improve, but very, very few people 180 their fighting style overnight. So it's always helpful. But at the same time, if you go in oh, this is what he's going to do, chances are he's going to do some other shit. You're going to get messed up thinking, that's what happened when I fought Jack. I was expecting something else, and he came out doing other shit. And I was like, well, I planned for the wrong thing, which is why I don't game plan. That was the one time I did, and that was a mistake. I was like, nope, going back to not game planning.
All right, hear me out, okay? I'm gonna lay something out, and you tell me if there's any validity to it. You've had Sean in your corner before, okay? And I don't know if he'll be in your corner for this fight.
He can't go to Canada.
See, I have a theory, okay? And here's my theory. With fighters in that situation, you know when you would run into like an ex-girlfriend, and it could have been years ago, but if you're like at the same concert, you kind of find yourself looking over, what's she doing?
Most definitely. Like when he fought the Brendan Allen fight, like Brendan was more angry at Sean than I was. He was at me, and I was like, bro, we're fighting right now. I'm pretty sure he's like talking to Sean. I'm like, bro, we're fighting. Like, and I'm like, bro, focus. Like we're like, stop trying to like show off. Like, focus, bro. Like, so yeah.
I was gonna ask, is he almost like a weapon at that point, really?
Oh, it definitely like, even if he didn't fight Sean though, Sean's still a weapon in your corner just because he's the most abrasive human being in his day-to-day life. And then like in the corner, he's definitely gonna talk to you. Like hell, when Sean fought Nassourdine, I was talking to Nassourdine that entire fight. So like, I mean, no matter everything that happened, I was talking shit to Nassourdine. I was talking shit to Cyril Gahn. I don't even know Cyril Gahn. I was talking so much shit to Cyril Gahn. Then like between like the third round, I think, I'm in a cage. I look back and he's like behind me. And I'm like, holy shit, he's big. Like I should probably not talk shit to Cyril Gahn. Then I went back to talking shit to Cyril Gahn. So like, yeah, man, it definitely helps. But like, the last fight, bro, I talked so much shit to Nash. I'm heckling in between rounds. So I'm hoping he's mad about it. I really hoping he's mad about it. Like fight stupid, fight angry. Like make it easy for me.
Chris, what would be your biggest criticism of yourself, your game when it comes to MMA?
Man, honestly, for me, I'm gradually learning that at a high level, not everyone is here to war. People, it's finally like dawning on me that most people are here to win, and I show up to fight. Like I want to win, but when I show up, my primary concern is fighting you. I'm like, I want to get to a fist fight. I want this to happen. And my coaches have been, getting it into me in practice about winning moments and, scoring points and winning rounds. Because when you show up like, no, bro, I just want to fight at a high enough level, people are here to win. Like you're not concerned about fighting. You're concerned about winning points, winning moments, winning rounds. So that's something that I haven't necessarily been conscious of throughout my pro career at higher levels. And now, as I'm fighting better and better guys, it's becoming more apparent that most people are there to like score their points and win, as opposed to just like, draw the circle and have a knife fight. So I have to accept that like, no matter how much I want to fight you, you may not be here to have this blood and guts battle. You just want your points so you can win and get that mark in the win column. So I'm slowly having to accept that like that's how the game is played at this level, and that I have to make adjustments in the things that I do in the fight. So I'm more conscious of winning because I give up time, and that's one of my biggest things, one of my biggest issues. I give up time and positions and moments because I'm not worried about points. I'm worried about fighting, and like I have to be conscious of that. So that's one of my biggest weaknesses, and we've been working on it. And every fight we're getting a little bit better with it, being like our urgency. And are being aware of how it looks to judges. Once again, I do a lot of things to where I use a lot of head movement slips. I use a lot of like head rolls to negate punching. So like, if I get hit, a lot of times you'll see my head snap because I use head rolls to negate force. So like, okay, I'm not getting hurt. Great, it's not hurting me. A punch isn't hurting me. But to a judge who's like 64 years old, is like 70 years old, and hasn't fucking fought a day in their life, it looks like I'm being hit. It looks bad. So, winning the moments, being aware of how it looks to the outside and the judges is something that I'm finally having to address. So that's been interesting for me because it's dictated some style changes that have been kind of hard to implement, but it's becoming more and more natural and like, being aware. But that was my biggest thing. I'm an old dog, man. So I was kind of resistant to change, but I've had to kind of back up and listen to my coaches, believe in my coaches, trust my coaches, and make those adjustments. It's been a process.
You snuck it in there earlier, and so I just want to follow up on it. You said you could still make 170. That's no problem. So right now, do you see it as, to use a Vegas term, you're playing with house money? You'll go as far as middleweight can take you, and then you'll make the dip? Or is that dip coming sooner than – is it even dictated by wins and losses? Because it sounds like you do want to entertain it one more time.
I mean, man, like, so 170, I can make 170, but it sucks. It's 170 requires a significant sacrifice of like lifestyle and happiness, and it's just my quality of life dips tremendously at 70, but I know I can still do it. And I always said when I got signed, 85, I was playing with house money because I was never supposed to be here. But then I fucked around and got ranked. So now I'm like, all right. So now I'm not really so sure if I'm playing with house money anymore because I have this expectation of me. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I've been a welterweight my entire career. We put on some weight to fight at 85. Then we had to lose weight because I got too big. So we're still trying to figure out like my correct 85 like some body size, which has been. Yeah, I had to like relearn to fight at middleweight, guys. Like, I literally had to go like change style. I had to change like my diet. I got big. I got small. It's been a work in progress. But with these adjustments, if I'm not performing at the level that I feel I could at 85 just because of my size, then, I will entertain going back to 70. I don't want to, but, my goal is to do this as long as I can, as successfully as I can. At 85, I've been doing well, but, I'm 5'10", 200 pounds, 205 on my heaviest day. You got guys walk around 220 at this weight. On my heaviest day, I'm 205. So, I don't want to be a welterweight, man. Oh, God, it was so bad. But if it comes down to like me not performing or me having to suffer, I'm going to choose to suffer every time.
Got it. Last question. You and Strickland, it looks somebody flashed a picture across social media. It sounds like the podcast is on its way soon.
Yeah, we filmed our first pilot episode today. We did that, the Man Dance podcast. We filmed our first pilot episode. So it's going to be rough, but it's more a proof of concept for us. And as we go, we're going to kind of streamline it and figure it out. This is pretty much just like a 45 minutes of Strickland ranting about things. And like me trying not to get us like banned on every platform we're going to put it on. But people have been asking about it for a long time. People have been suggesting it for a long time. And the management was finally like, guys, like, you need to do this just for the shits and giggles. So I got them to agree to it. And today was step one. So I'm excited for it, man. Like, Sean's, he's like a brother to me, man. Lives across the street. We've been road dogs for about 8 years now. So if we can show you guys just the dumb shit that we like talk about and like deal with on a daily basis, I think it's an easy way just to kind of get some fun engagement and get people to see just the interesting dynamic that we've kind of developed over these last 8 years. So I'm very excited about it. So hopefully I'll be dropping soon. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Can you tell us the name one more time?
The Man Dance Podcast.
Man Dance Podcast. Okay.
Yep.
And you'll have it on all platforms. Is it going to be just a podcast or video like YouTube as well?
So I think we're gonna do kind of everything because I think we're trying to work it out now, like 2 podcasts a week, plus like a free form video where we get guys to follow us, like maybe it's like sparring, or if we go do something on a weekend, like get a camera guy to go. So hopefully 2-3 episodes a week, but at least 2. But I'm hoping for 3. And just have that last one just be like a week recap of like all the weird shit that happened in the week.
It almost sounds like it'll be more non-MMA than MMA.
Like today we talked about MMA, but like with Sean, everything becomes a segue and it's extreme tangent. So we might as well mix it, man. There's so many MMA podcasts out there anyway. They're just MMA, and like, what the fuck can we really talk about that hasn't been discussed like ad nauseum 1,000 times by somebody who's better? Like, you guys have MMA podcasts who've got like way better at this than we're ever going to be at discussing the sport. So we can mix in the sport and just day-to-day shit, Sean's hatred of liberal culture and everything else, just sports entertainment. That's what we're going for, sports entertainment.
Nice. All right. Well, we look forward to when it gets going, and we'll definitely have you back to promote it. In the meantime, continue that camp, safe camp, safe weight cut, safe travels, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. See you at the gym or whatever, but thank you as always for your time.
No problem at all, guys. Glad to be back, man. Glad to talk to you guys. Glad to see you kicking around and feeling better. So I will talk to you guys in a bit.
Thank you. Take care. We'll see you.